This is how we make Jamie Oliver's salmon deviled eggs. It's simple, tasty, and healthy for moms and kids, modified for babies. This meal is an excellent choice to help prevent iron deficiency anemia and help with mommy brain. For moms, eggs are one of the richest sources of choline. 90% of women don't get enough. For children, eggs are a top 5 most complete protein for developing kids. For babies, introducing eggs early reduces egg allergy risk. Welcome! Thanks for joining us on One Meal Fits All for Busy Moms. Are you fueling everyone else but you yourself are feeling really exhausted? Well, sometimes caring for yourself can look really simple. It could be as simple as making a dish that you want to try instead of thinking about what everyone else wants to eat tonight. Now, for me, one of my favorite celebrity chefs came up with a recipe that I just have to try today. My name is Angel. I've been a dietitian since 2012, and all the information shared today is for general purposes only. It's not meant as a replacement for your own healthcare provider's advice. Quick story about this little recipe here. I first really started to get to know and like Jamie Oliver as a celebrity chef when he came on TV with the American Food Revolution. It was based on him trying to reform U.S. school lunch programs and make them healthier, because his concern was that the next generation of kids didn't know enough about food or how to prepare simple meals, and as a result, they were becoming less healthy. So I feel really positive about trying something here, because at the end of the day, I think he was trying to help families become healthier by helping the kids. In this case, I want to take care of moms that really take care of everyone else. And so here, I want you to know that choline is a nutrient that a lot of moms don't get enough of, and it's actually essential for boosting our brain function and our memory. So, I mean, how many of us can relate to sort of having this mommy brain, so to speak, after giving birth? It can be really challenging and frustrating to live with it. And so eggs and salmon are really rich sources of choline. And I'm hoping that today we'll be able to make something delicious that you like eating and that it's good for your brain health as well. All right. So for those of you who has ever peeled an egg, you'll know just how frustrating sometimes it can be. In fact, my husband and I ate a lot of eggs before because it was super frustrating to get these perfectly looking eggs to make deviled eggs. So to anyone else who's ever boiled eggs for deviled eggs, it is a labor of love. So if you ever eat deviled eggs made by someone, please show your appreciation. All right, so you'll see that some eggs look better than others. I'm not gonna lie, but I really couldn't go through any more eggs. Many of you may chuckle because you know how expensive eggs can be these days. All right, so having said that, it's a really simple, straightforward recipe. Once you have however many boiled eggs you wanna make, you're just gonna cut it in half lengthwise, and you're just gonna pop the yolk. I'll put it here so you can see a little bit better. You're just gonna pop the yolk in here. If you're in a real time crunch, you can actually buy boiled eggs already. Like some supermarkets actually have pre-boiled eggs. For whatever reason, I cooked all these eggs the same way, and yet one is looking a bit more jammy than the others. That's okay, we'll go with it. So long as it pops out, we'll still use it. And so, yeah, you could totally, if you so wanted to make this recipe, you didn't have time to boil eggs or buy fresh eggs and go through the painstaking process of peeling eggs, only to have them not look pretty, you can buy store-bought boiled eggs. No judgment. No judgment. I totally feel you. I'm not kidding when I tell you that I quite literally screamed when I was peeling these eggs. Jamie Oliver's recipe actually has homemade mayonnaise, but I don't really feel comfortable using raw egg and making my own mayonnaise at home. For those of you who are comfortable, you can quite simply search up Jamie Oliver's salmon deviled egg recipe online. But for me, my comfort zone is using store-bought mayonnaise that I know is fully cooked. Here I'm just using 2 slices of smoked salmon, and because look at the shell of the eggs, it's not a very large canvas there, so you probably want to cut this up to small bite-sized amounts. And smoked salmon is fully cooked, but it is higher in sodium, and so you may, if you're watching your salt intake, then to get the flavor of it, you may choose to use a little bit less, but it's quite lovely in terms of just the nutrition, like the choline that it gives us, and the flavor, of course. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that in. And now it's up to you. You can actually add fresh dill if you have it, or dried dill. That's what I have, dried dill, and I can add it directly in as well. I'm choosing not to add the cayenne because my kids may want to give this a try, and most kids don't tolerate very spicy things. My kids really don't tolerate any spice, so I'm gonna leave the cayenne out, and I'm just gonna sprinkle the cayenne onto maybe a few of the eggs for flavor and to make it look a little pretty, but then I'll leave some in without it. So you may choose to do the same thing. So we're just gonna fill the shell enough so that it looks nice. So for those of you who are celebrating a special event, or you're maybe bringing this to a party, you probably want to make this in advance. I do find that the whole process, like even though the assembly part is really fast, the peeling of the eggs and making sure they're fully cooked, that part can be really hard. As we're doing this, you may be wondering, can I make this ahead? Absolutely, just leave it in the fridge, because eggs are a perishable food product, so we always want to practice food safety. If you've been thinking about cooking with your older kids more often, I think this is a really fun recipe to try together. It's nice to bring in your interests into their lives as well. And in an edible format, that's always nice. If you have younger kids, this is also an excellent recipe because you don't need to use a stovetop or any heat source. There's low risk of injury. Just don't let them handle the knife if they're not ready for that yet. And this can be really, really fun to do as a family. Okay, so that's it. Now, like I said, I'm gonna use the pinch of cayenne and just sprinkle it over the adult eggs to give it that kind of pretty look and flavor. And for those of you who have really sharp eyes, you'll notice that I also saved the ever so slight amount of dried dill here so that I could do a little bit of sprinkling over top as well to give it that green color. I think fresh is nice, but oftentimes like fresh herbs can be expensive. Not everyone grows their own stuff, and so this is a more accessible way to enjoy this recipe. What's your favorite way to eat eggs? I know everyone has a particular way. So this is how we make Jamie Oliver's salmon deviled eggs. It's simple, it's tasty, it's healthy for moms and kids, modified for babies. So now we're gonna modify it for babies. I have 2 extra boiled eggs here to show you that. Firstly, let's just cut this one open. Cut this one open. Okay. So you'll notice that there's a difference in what the egg yolks look like. And you may notice that, oh, one is still jammy in the center. That's not quite so fully cooked, but this one is. It's solid all the way through. And so for babies that are 6 to 12 months old, I definitely recommend that you hard-boil your eggs to the degree where it's completely cooked through and not jammy like this one. From here on out, you have a couple decisions to make. Based on your baby's developmental abilities, you may choose to offer the egg quartered like this so that they can hold it. It can get pretty messy and the yolk can be pretty dry. So if you feel like, oh, maybe it's a better idea that I just give them the quartered egg white and they can hold it like this and bring it to their mouth for baby-led weaning, great. But if you think they can handle it, you prefer to give them the yolk because of course there's a lot of essential nutrients in the yolk, then you could offer them water in an open cup so that they can enjoy moistening their mouth so that it doesn't get so dry and difficult to manage in their little mouths. So that's one way. But of course, like every child's different, and if your child is not quite at that stage or you prefer to just spoon feed or offer it on the spoon and preload the spoon, you can actually take the hard-boiled egg and you can just mash it with a fork. Simple as that. It's okay to give babies lumpy textures because they don't have to have teeth to enjoy lumpy textures. But this is a little bit on the dry side, so you will want to add like drops of water or breast milk or formula to moisten it so that it's nice and moist. And it's up to you how pasty you can get it, but eggs do tend to dry as time goes on. So if your baby's taking a long time to eat, you may have to add another couple drops of breast milk, formula, or water to just bring it to the consistency that they can enjoy. You offer it to them like that, or another method is you're preloading a spoon, like a baby-sized spoon, and then they can grab the preloaded spoon and bring it to their mouth as well. There's also, if the baby is 9 months old and the pincer grasp, where they use their thumb and index finger to hold things, is more developed, then you could also give the eggs cut up like that as well. The salmon I'm not providing because under 1 year old actually need very, very little sodium, and the sodium naturally occurring in foods is already sufficient for them. And so while you don't have to be overly concerned if you seasoned another dish with a little bit of salt and you're giving it to them and it's a homemade food, not a processed food, I don't want you to be fearful of that. I won't go out of my way to give something that's quite high in salt and add it to babies. So I know how high in salt smoked salmon can be, so I'm just choosing to give them the egg portion of this dish so that they can enjoy eating with the rest of the family around the table. And just make sure that if baby's never had egg before, that you offer about 1/4 of a baby teaspoon to baby first, monitor for about 10-15 minutes, see if there's a reaction before you offer any more. But otherwise, if they've already enjoyed eggs many times before, I think this is a fantastic way for everybody to enjoy more choline-rich foods, which are good for mommy brain, for kids, for babies, everyone in the whole family. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to watch another one, or you can forward it to a mom that you love, or do both. So one step at a time, Mama. You got this.